What if I told you that the next president of the United States will decide what happens to you for the next 30 years?
That he or she will have the power to decide what you do with your body.
And who you can marry.
And whether you have access to affordable healthcare or education.
Or whether one of your parents gets deported.
Well, we are telling you that the next president of the United States will get to decide that and a whole lot more
for the next 30 years.
In the next 90 seconds, we are going to explain to you why.
The Supreme Court, or SCOTUS, makes decisions about everything.
Women's rights,
immigration reform,
affordable education and healthcare,
LGBTQ rights,
criminal justice reform,
gun control,
the economy,
voting rights,
and everything in between. When the Supreme Court makes a decision, every lower court in the country must follow it.
Supreme Court judges, called justices, are chosen by the president and appointed for life.
In recent years, the average age of retirement for a SCOTUS justice has been 78.
The president nominates justices when there is a vacancy. Presidents generally choose someone who agrees with their values and views.
For example, if a president is conservative and opposes women's rights, he or she will likely appoint a justice who feels the same way.
Republican presidents tend to pick conservative justices. Democratic presidents, liberal justices.
All 9 justices vote when they hear a case, and any ruling needs 5 votes to pass.
Conservative Justice Scalia passed away earlier this year after almost 30 years in the SCOTUS. So there are only 8 justices in the court right now, 4 liberal and 4 conservative.
The next president is going to fill that vacancy, and that will determine if the court has a liberal or conservative majority for a very long time.
Because remember, justices are appointed for life.
A Democratic president nominating a liberal justice would give the liberals the majority on the court for the first time since 1970.
There are 3 other justices who are going to be in their 80s during the next presidency and will likely retire.
Remember, the average retirement age is 78?
The next president will determine the ideological makeup of our court for the next 30 years. What this means for anyone who wants to move the country in a progressive direction
is that this is the most important vote for president our generation will ever cast.
We cannot let Trump win.
We cannot let Trump win.
We cannot let Trump win.
Because he has made it very clear that he will nominate conservative justices for the Supreme Court, who will block and dial back all the progress we have made as a society in those areas.
Basically, everything every progressive has been fighting for their entire life, and everything most millennials care about.
We all need to vote.
There is too much at stake.
With the Green Party at 2% of support and the Libertarian Party at 7%, the only candidates who can realistically win this election are Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. One of these 2 people is going to be our next president.
And voting for a third-party candidate could put at risk all the issues that you care about.
If you supported Bernie in the primary and you are considering voting third party,
the power to move progressive issues forward is in your hands.
So that's why we are asking you and every liberal and progressive voter to come together and vote responsibly. Vote smart.
Join us and vote for Hillary Clinton so we can protect the Supreme Court for our and the next generation.
You have the power to keep the country moving forward.
You have the power to decide what this country's values will be.
If we come together, we can have the most progressive Supreme Court in over 80 years.
And don't just vote for president. Vote down the ticket for progressive candidates.
And on November 8th, use your vote wisely.
Vote smart.
Vote.
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 Vote Hillary. Vote smart.